Okay, we are live.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope you are having a peaceful morning. So now we all want more peace in our days with all the crazy time that's, going around. Um, we missed you, Haya. It's been a month now, and I don't know. I hope, guys, your house is still in place since the last time. Mine is a little crowded. I said I'll wait for today, and then after our interview, and fix few things, for the weekend. It's not easy to stay with kids and all the time at
Yes,
home. There is no space for us to take care of our corners, of to put
yes,
order to the place. Seriously, I'm
yes,
finding it difficult. And I don't want to sound lecturing all the time, do this, remove this. So
yes,
it's a bit challenging
yes,
situation. I'm sure many share with me this feeling. And also, outside the energy is intense, as
yes,
you see.
yes,
So it's good to know from you a little bit how we can accommodate this in a practical way. And you chose a practical way to start with the bagua. I don't want to talk about it, so I leave the floor for you to introduce the
thank you.
bagua for us and see how we can start an easy practical way.
Thank you so much again for having me. It's always exciting to chat and share some information, and hopefully it's helpful. Uh, Definitely the situation, be it inside our homes or outside, it is kind of it can be chaotic because nowadays everyone is working. Not everyone, but most of us are working from home, and the house is crowded, and and people are a little bit hyper or tense because we're not used to being confined. So, but it's good to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Things don't have to be perfect. So inside the house, it's messy, it's full of energy, hyper. Why not? Because as we know, things never stay the same. Sooner or later, this environment will change into something else. And of course, the outside environment, what's happening in the world is a huge issue as well. We're dealing with, and hopefully will come out of it better and stronger.
Yeah.
So today we thought to shift our attention a little bit from the media and what's happening outside, shift the energy, the focus into our home and our well-being. And today we thought would be a good idea to go into a little bit more details about Feng Shui and the mandala or the backbone of Feng Shui, which is the Bagua. So the Bagua is really like a plan, just like when you go to acupuncturist and they have a map of the body, and they push or manipulate certain points in the body to open certain meridian or adjust something. In Feng Shui, we have what we call a bagua, which is similar. We impose the bagua on the floor plan of the house and even the lot of the house. And we can identify certain aspect, element, areas in our personal life that we can tweak, manipulate, adjust to serve our needs and our well-being.
Yeah, so it's is it like the map that you use to set the elements in place, or like
Yes. Now it's already prepared for us.
yeah,
Uh, 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, the Chinese started this, and they studied nature and the life force and the elements in nature, and they came up with this map or bagua that make the human being live naturally and cohesively with the elements of nature.
And the flow of the right flow of the energy.
Exactly. So I'll show you, and I think Sarah, you already have a picture of the bagua in the when you put the ad. But
Panel. I tried to put the like just to give an idea, because I said maybe bagua is not gonna sound a little bit something weird, so I wanted to do some.
Yes, it is a Chinese name. We can call it mandala or map. We relate more to it this way. So I'll show you again a picture of the. I don't know if you can see it, and I suggest the beginning of this conversation, if you have a piece of paper and a pen, and you can start adding information to your own bagua. I will show you my own bagua that I created over 22 years ago when I first started on this journey. And it's quite messy, and I added to it throughout the years. And I added to it things that relate to my own well-being, my life. So the interesting thing that my bagua map, even though the elements are set in it, but the information that it contains, it can be quite personal.
Oh, okay. That's new for me. Guys, I don't know if you also, because I thought it's something like that everybody has to follow the same thing. Didn't know that you can customize it based on your personal perspective or needs, or that's good. That's
Yes. So what we mean by that, for example, as I said, the 9 sections are dominant, and you cannot change them, but you can tackle every section according to your needs.
Okay.
At one time, you want to enhance your career, so you tackle that specific area and you adjust it to what you need. Sometimes you have too much work, you want to slow down, so again you adjust the work career area accordingly. This is what I meant by you can make it a little bit more custom or to your own well-being.
Okay, so it's like about fine-tuning if you want to increase or decrease or your balance sometimes. This is where we come, like our personal aspect come to interfere.
Right. So the 9 aspects of, we have 9 aspects with the bagua, and we're going to start with, first of all, I want to make sure that we all know how to position our bagua on the house plan. So you can only make the bagua, you can put it at the door of your front house or the bedroom, but only the bottom 3 sections are the ones that you can align the bagua correctly on your area. And as you can see here, we have the knowledge, spirituality, career, and helpful people. Sometimes your door, be it the front door of your main house or your bedroom, falls here at the end of the wall. Sometimes it's right in the center of the wall, or sometimes it's on the other side. So it doesn't matter where the entry to your house, this is where you position your bagua. This is very important step. Once you um, use it properly, everything else will fall easily. So, for example, the room that you're in, Sarah,
Yeah.
where is the door to it? Is it in the middle of the wall or is it on either side?
It's on the side, not in the middle of the room.
Okay. So when you stand, when you stand outside this bedroom, trying to open the door to go in,
Yeah.
the entrance, the door is located to your far right or to your far left?
To my far right.
Okay, so that is a very important. So that means this is where you enter your room from.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay, some people and most bedrooms or room or houses, you enter from the center of the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's no problem. It doesn't make any difference. But so now when you align the Bagua map on the room that you're sitting in now, you know that your front door is coming through a helpful people section of the Bagua.
Okay.
And you know that in the middle of the wall is your career. And then if you continue along the wall, you will find the knowledge and spirituality. So these three sections, they have to be aligned with the entrance of the door, the house, the front property. Once you do that, it's always good to stand at the front door. So when you stand, right, when you enter your room, you open the door and you enter, right away, you know that the far right of that room represent the relationship area. And then you know that next to it is the future, next to it is the prosperity and wealth. So you can see how critical it is to align the bottom section before you're able to work with the rest of the Bagua.
So it doesn't just it doesn't matter if it's the whole house or the room.
Absolutely.
That's the bagua. You take it, you stand up at any door, and from there you position the first three to check where is the door is placed, and then you can check the other parts, the other elements of the bagua.
Absolutely. That's the simplest way to put it.
Okay.
And the most critical point to set up before you're able to work with the rest of the Bagua sections. So when you use, for example, when you use the Bagua map on the first floor of the house, okay, if your front door to the house falls at the far right of your house, then it would be the same position that in the middle is the career, the far left is the helpful people, and you continue by there. Most houses, my house here, the front door is kind of in the middle. Mm. And this is most houses. You enter in the hallway and then you have the rest of the house around you, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So you can use the Bagua map on the first floor. You go upstairs again, where the staircase ends. You stand at the top of the staircase with the Bagua map on your hand, and you see where the staircase is. Is it at the left of the second floor, middle, right? And then you know exactly each room, what does it represent.
And what about the directions? Because if like now we want to go and find, we can find the bagua online and print it, or is we have to create like just the base of the
Yes.
bagua. We create it, or we can get it and print it, or
Yeah.
how do you?
Well, it's good to check the already made up bagua maps, but the best I find is to make your own. As you can see, I made my own, and throughout the years, because I read a lot of books about Feng Shui, some information resonates with me more, so I add it under that specific area on my Bagua map. And I find we're always attracted or aware of certain information that suits our well-being at certain time of our life. So we trust this intuition.
Yeah.
So we're going to go now and talk briefly about each section and how can we work with it. Now, I noticed that you're sitting and behind you, there's an art piece with the circle going through. That's behind you, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that art, when you enter the house, and you are entering the house in the room that you are in from the far right.
Yeah,
from the far right. Yeah. Then in the middle of the wall is the career. Exactly opposite of the career is the fame, advancement, future. So I want to ask you, is that art piece located somewhere directly across the middle of the front wall?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So let's take this as an example today, how we can adjust Feng Shui and make it work for us. Now, looking at that art piece, I can see that it's almost like a twirling, I don't know, what should we call it?
Spiral, actually.
Spiral. Okay, you said it right. Now, this is conflicting with the proper energy that you need to present in the future advancement section of the Bagua. Because usually the future is located at the top center of every room. So keep that in mind. The future always top center of the room. When you stand at the beginning of the room and you look directly the top center, and it's usually associated with fire, red, green, a square, triangles, wood, which gives feeling of stability and growth, advancement in life. Now, if we take example what you have on the wall, you have the circling, and circle represent water. Water is conflict with fire, and worse than that, it's someone in this environment might be feeling in their growth and advancement always around nothing bursting forward, always, I don't want to say stuck, but around and around and around and around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
even though, like, I just here like to talk about something, even though if, like, in my perspective, is like a spiral is an evolution process, right? Like, this is if you go and read a little bit about the like the movement or the evolution.
Yes.
The evolution and doesn't go straight forward. It starts,
it's never static. Yes.
Yeah. So this is how it, like what it represents to me. But still, it's still, if in your opinion, reflects something that's conflictual, because that's not a triangle, it's not a square, it's something that
Yes.
the circle, so water, so it's against fire, like not.
Now, that's a very good point you bring up. As okay, let's say I like to have this image of evolution and continuous evolution progress. Let's suppose I like to have that image, and the only place in the room where I can place it is in the top center, which is the future. If I have to place something like that in that area, I don't make it the prominent energy, idea, influence. In fact, I like to set the tone and make the background supportive to my liking, because I like this circling thing. I want to make sure I have behind it something that gives it strength and stability. So the way it's positioned right now, it doesn't have anything to support it. In fact, to a Feng Shui practitioner, it's like going in a hole kind of, or twirling like that. Now, I don't mean to pick on you, but this is an example.
Huh? No, that's great, because I did this. It's my work.
Yes.
And I've always, like, I like it, but as you said, I don't know where to place it, to be straightforward with you. And you,
yes.
Like, I love it because when I draw it, it's like the white and the fractal, of all colors. I don't know,
yes.
It's not very clear now, the colors. So all kinds or shades of the main colors. But
now,
it's like I don't know where to place it. Every time where I put it, I feel like, no, it's not here. It's not here. Then like that's that you pointed it out.
I can give you a suggestion where would be where you can use it in more effective way. That would be in your career area. The career area represents circle, water element, and it has the rippling effect of going bigger and bigger, kind of, and you have the pointers, the colors. So I would suggest to relocate it to the front wall in the center of it. I know you enter your room from the far right.
Yes.
In the center of it, you have a nice big wall, I can imagine. Yeah. It will be good to have it there.
Okay. I will change it today after we finish. It's empty, actually. I can just move it around. Yeah.
So now, for everyone who is listening, in any room, when you enter, right away, the center top area of your house represent a future advancement, and it resonates with colors like green, red, a triangle shape. Avoid putting water there, and or any circular shapes. In my bedroom, in that specific area, I have a jade tree.
Oh.
Again, it's something that give impression of growth, and I love the shape of the jade tree. Is just so succulent and alive and healthy. So that I'm giving you samples and ideas what to use there. Now, if we continue in your room, I see that the far right behind you is the lamp and the tree.
Far left.
Left.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you are standing at the beginning of your room, at the front door, the top right corner is the relationship area.
Okay.
So write that down. Any room you enter, always the top right corner is the relationship area. And that always resonates with earthy colors, green plant. We want to avoid excessive water element there because earth and water, they have to be in some kind of balance. So looking at your room, I can see that you have a nice tall tree.
Yeah.
And you have the lamp.
A bamboo tree.
A bamboo tree, fantastic. So a Feng Shui practitioner, once they see such arrangement, they say, okay, the person who live here have a big circle of friends. They have, they are blessed with lots of people, friendship in their life. Now, if, for example, you have a water fountain there, again, that will be a conflict in relationships. So now we covered a relationship, which is far right corner. We covered future advancement, which is exactly the top center of every room. And if we continue on that wall, we have the far left of every room, and this is always based on the main entrance. You keep that in mind because we covered the beginning that you have to align the first 3 sections of the Bagua first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then if we move after future, we have prosperity. That top far left corner in every room is the prosperity wealth area. So here, again, if you have a safe or it's a great place to store your jewelry, your money, to have a picture of water, I love to put in that area a wind chime or anything that moves, that's always in action, and that as well give the impression of air. So even though in a bedroom, it's okay to have a small wind chime. Sometimes I buy these small wind chimes from dollar store. They don't have to be fancy and few $100s, but just the image of them is quite effective.
What about those macrame that that you hang some plants, but they are not moving? I love these, and I always feel like I wanna hang this plant. Like it's called macrame. The work they do, the handcraft. It's
Okay.
a boho thing, but again, it moves like if you move it. But I
Yes.
don't know how you like. I have
Idea.
one in my bedroom, and it's like my husband keeps like, Sarah, this plant is gonna fall on us and gonna cause a problem one day.
Okay. Now this
I removed the plant, but I kept the thing.
now he has a good point. Are you placing it above your bed?
No, it's next to like in the middle of between the door and the end of the wall. So it's
Yes, that's fine. That's fine then. Okay, so that's your prosperity and wealth area. So, for example, if anyone wants to make the energy stronger in that area, if there's a struggle in that area, one would go directly to that corner of any room and make sure it's tidy, it doesn't have clutter. Maybe to place a mirror there is nice. Maybe to hang a wind chime or a plant. But the most important thing is to make sure it's clean and free from clutter. Sometimes, even just to make it clean, to go and give it a good cleaning job is plenty. We don't have to go and buy anything, but to put the effort there and clean it, you will see, give it time, and you will start seeing the rippling effect of it.
yeah. I'm sure many are like now have this question because we here some areas they have many doors, especially the open hall. Like I have some rooms where you have two doors, like two entrance to the place.
Yes.
So how do you apply the bagua here? So where do you stand?
Yes. In our family room, we have two doors. one from the kitchen to the family room, and the other from the family room to the patio, to the deck. So we have two doors. However, for me, the main important door to the most important one is the one from the kitchen to the family room, because we use this door 50, 60 times a day, as opposed the door to the patio and the deck, we don't go out often, maybe 2 times a day or so. But the most prominent door usage is the one from the kitchen to the living room. So I would give that door the number one. Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's a good point, because yeah, I'm sure many they have some like different entrances to areas, especially
Yes.
the first floor. I mean, you have like this. So that's so we use the door that is the most used as the reference for the bagua.
Exactly. And I've done consultations before to homes where they have a front door they never use. They always use the back door. They park their car and they enter from the kitchen.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for them. And now when they have visitors, every once in a while, they use the front door. But I place my bagua for them based on the door that they use every day, many, many, many times. So that's a good point.
That's an excellent point, because I think you know, we most of us use the garage door because you park and you enter to the mudroom, or you know, like this, and then you enter to the house.
Yes.
We rarely open the, unless we have visitors, the main room, main door.
Yes.
In this case, we use the garage door as a reference for our bagua to the house.
If this is the door that you use often, I would go with that.
Okay, good point, because yeah.
Now, so if we are to continue, we covered the relationship, future fame, advancement, prosperity. Now, the middle left corner of the wall, the middle left corner of the room, is the family energy, the family. And it's funny thing that happened to me a few weeks ago. I've had this thought, this inclination, this intuition to buy a wind chime. So it's been coming, and nowadays going to the nurseries and buying plants and this and that. I came across many quite nice, and and one day I happened to be in this nursery, very small one, and there it was, a wind chime, but it was quite particular. It was green wood. It has a certain gemstone in it, and it had only 4 chords. And I said to myself, I don't know why I'm liking this one. It wasn't that expensive. I think the cheapest of them all. I didn't check the price at that time, but later, okay, I bought it, and I came home 2 days later. Oh, I said, okay, I'm gonna put it here. So I put it outside in a certain direction, and I didn't think about it. A few days later, I pulled up my books on Feng Shui, and I'm checking that area, and sure enough, it represents the oldest son, the family, and if you go deeper in Feng Shui, it covers feet. So every section of Feng Shui, we talked about prosperity, relationship, and future. Even those sections, each one resonate with certain part in our body. So you can see how deep this science is if one to really give it attention and study it a little bit. It's tremendously effective and important. So, and when I realized that that's part of my life needed attention, I started giggling to myself. I said, "My goodness, So I like to trust that, and I hope every one of us don't ignore these small.
And do it with actions. Yeah.
So now, if we continue in your room, for example, Sarah, at the bottom far left corner in the in your room is the spirituality and knowledge.
Yeah.
That's how you build on yourself. So I don't know what you have there. What do you have in that?
I only have, this room doesn't have a lot of furniture, but I have a frame for an elephant, multicolored elephant, hand painted.
Yeah. So for that area would be great area to place your spiritual books, your studies in religion, in the cosmos. That section will provide great energy to support someone in that endeavor. Now, if we continue, right in the middle of the wall, the front wall, where you're gonna relocate the art piece there.
Yes, here, yeah.
That is the career area.
Okay.
So in that section of the room, if you happen to have a door, you don't have a place to put a water fountain, or you don't have a lot of space, which happens in my bedroom, it's nice to represent water element in that area. It could be in seashells. It could be in a small picture of sail, sailing boat, water. But the water element is essential for career. Water in life, it's the source of life, actually. Water is the source of life. And in the career area, job wise, it's quite effective.
Yeah.
Again, colors like blue.
Oh, I have blue.
Blue, black, gray, white, they go very well. My favorite color is navy, and I have it in certain areas in the house. So that's another area for career. Now, not the last, if we continue where your front door is, the door to the room that you're sitting in, which is the far right section, is helpful people in your life. People that give you a hand and help and open doors for you, that support you regardless of what kind of goal you have. You have great support. So that section in any room or any house is, I really, really appreciate. And I give it good attention and respect and love, because I appreciate everyone in my life who come into my life and always help me grow. Not every relationship is rosy and chocolate covered moments, but even the opposite of them are still tremendous lessons to learn from. So never underestimate that specific area in your house. Again, it's the bottom far right corner of the wall where you enter. And I hope you keep in mind, as we said earlier, it's very important to position the Bagua map. Once you position it right, it will be easy for you to tackle all of these sections or elements in your life.
And And for this area, the helpful people, what is like the color or what kind of
Yeah.
al- elements we can add, colors or what? I have a plant actually, like just.
Okay, so the helpful people in your life, um, it's a great place to display your crystals. It relates to travel. So, for example, if someone is planning a vacation or traveling, to make sure this area is in good working order, free from clutters, very supportive. As well, I have here written on my special book, it relates to the father. So to your father, to my father. Again, if, for example, if my father is feeling ill or going through something, I can make adjustment or do some special ceremony or adjustment in that area just to give more support and good energy. The colors are gray and black. And I have written here that in the body, it relates to the head. So if someone is having a lot of migraine or headaches, that's a good area to check. And from my experience, the bed is quite important, and I don't like to have anything under the bed, not drawers or not to store anything, because I find if we do that, it affects the head, and one is prone to headaches. That's a different story, but so we are covering the helpful people area. These are important things to put there. Yeah. So we have covered 7. Now, if we continue on the Bagua map, if we continue, we covered the family, knowledge, career, helpful people. The last thing is the children and creativity. And that is when you are at the front door, is the middle right section of the wall. So it's almost like opposite across from the family. So you have the family in the far left, you have the children and creativity in the far right. And of course, this is where the most support for your creativity. And the colors here are again the blue, the gray. Interesting enough, it covers the neck and the mouth in the body. And it covers as well the youngest daughter. So all these pointers that I added to this section, I picked them up from different books. Yeah. And it covers, I highlighted here the throat chakra, which is the communication.
Expression, yeah.
Expression. And creativity is all about how we express ourselves.
Absolutely.
So that section, the far right center of the wall when you enter, this is where your creativity is represented. And you can play around with it and put things there that suits where you are in life at this moment. Now, these are the 8 section of the Bagua. The center of the Bagua represent health, and that makes it 9 aspects of life. Health is, of course, the essential piece of the whole Bagua map. If you are a millionaire and you don't have health, it doesn't matter. So we need to make sure it's addressed properly. And then the interesting thing about health in a Bagua, that it takes its energy or its liveliness from the eighth section of the Bagua. So
everything is connected.
yes. So if our home is in good working order, the health section is okay. It doesn't have to be perfect all the time, just like what you touched on earlier, this conversation, that the house now is in a crazy mode, is hyper, is active, everyone is working from home. So you lose control of making the house look perfectly nice. It doesn't matter. The rest of the bagua of the house are working in a healthy way. There's no conflict in any area. So the energy is flowing nicely. So the health is okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I have a question, which I think also someday might have it too. It's these 9 elements or the 8 elements, the essential elements. We have to apply them to every room, or if we like when we use the scale of the house, then like this is the difference between scaling at the house level and at the room level. Like I have to go to every single room, check those 8 elements, or how does it sound when I sit at the front door and I fix the 8 elements?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, an enthusiastic person who first come to hear about Feng Shui, they have a tremendous energy and that I want to do it all. Okay, I have 9 areas. I'm gonna go now from room to room and cover it all. In my opinion, it doesn't work this way at all. So you don't have to overwhelm yourself by studying or working with these 9 elements the same time.
Yeah.
No, but usually when someone calls for a consultation, they are struggling or having issues with 1, 2, maximum 3 aspects in their life. They don't call if they have the whole 9 aspect at 0, because every once in a while we need to shift energy in certain area in our life. So going back to your question, for example, uh, if prosperity is not working for me, then I would definitely go to every room and adjust the prosperity section in that room. That way, I cover my house. I cover the space that I live in. I am tackling this aspect, and I would make sure to go to every room and make sure that specific area is in good working order. You don't have to do the 9 areas, but it depends on what you're working on.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, because like I refer to myself when I wanted to apply once, like long years ago, the feng shui, and I started reading about it. As you said, I got overwhelmed.
Yes.
And I couldn't like figure out how, like it got too much in my mind, and this played a negative role on me. So I decided to put this aside and just make my life simple, and I don't want to make it complicated. So it got complicated. So guys, don't do like what I did, because then you're gonna turn off your filters and you're gonna pull out. So
Yeah.
step by step. So your advice is really good and valuable, and like easier to go and look at aspect by aspect and see what you need now to work on. Yeah.
And usually, oftentimes, life push you to uh, to discover or learn or adjust certain area. So the main important thing is to set the Bagua map, put the every aspect in its appropriate corner area. Once you have that done, then leave it for now. And when you have a calling to do something about it, then you take it with you, go to the bedroom, for example, and align it at the front door. And it depends, what are you working on? Be it a relationship, be it the children. Okay, I need to work in that corner. Okay, I'll do that. And then put it aside. Life will bring you back again to what needs to be done at any moment. And everyone who's listening to our conversation today, they're not listening to it by accident. For some reason, it happened that for them to be aware of this tool that they need, that they can use, they have access to, and they should just trust how things unfold for them. No need to stress about anything. No need to make the house perfect. My house isn't perfect. The example that I gave regarding the wind chime, out of the blues, I said, oh, I have to buy a wind chime. Okay. And then all of a sudden I bought this cheapy one, $49, and they had ones $200, $250, $300. But, just trust how things present themselves to you.
Absolutely. And we keep it simple. Like every time we complicate things to make things better, so we end up without anything. So better to go step by step in a simple way. And now, just before we end, if I want to now go get the bagua. It's like if we Google and get the base, just
Yes.
that's easy to do. How like we can just get inspired by any bagua and just to create the 9 elements on it.
Yes.
And use it. So because I'm sure we are excited now, guys, right? To get a bagua in hand now.
You can just Google it and then make your own.
Yeah.
And with time, you find yourself, you keep adding to it and more related information. And the most important fact that I like to remind us, never to stress about it. If you take the bagua and you go up to the bedroom and you can't figure out what to put in a certain area, that means it's not the right time. Take a break, put it in the drawer. When the energy is right, you will know.
Yeah, and don't fight with your husband or spouse if you don't agree on a place of a plant or a frame. So that's fine.
Well, I know that you're very lucky. Osama is a great guy.
Yeah. But I was at my mom's house when I started doing the Feng Shui, and this confusion. She likes this here, and I wanted to put it here, and the stress about moving things, based on the bagua.
Yeah.
I still remember this tension, but it was funny, So guys, don't create stress, as Haya said. So otherwise we lose the purpose of creating.
Exactly. Life is meant to be lived with fun and spontaneity and just enjoyment. It's not a classroom, and teacher is writing on the blackboard. No, just you're gonna try things, you're gonna fail with them, you're gonna try again, and then who cares?
Yeah, and especially a house with kids or different generation. And like just before we end, to make something like a little bit funny, I was telling my little son, Dan, why this toy is here? It's like, really, you're making our house not nice. Because he likes to have he always say about nice house. So but he replied, no, this makes the house look nice. In his opinion, just throwing it here in the middle of the room is decorating it makes the room looks nice. And I was like, oh, you used to find this nice here? He said, yes, this is what makes our house looks nice. And I said, okay, guys, so we have different perspective and we have to accommodate each other.
Yeah. Yes, of course. And by allowing others to do things their own way, that brings more harmony. Everyone is respecting, and you know, and that's fine. It's your view, it's my view, and at least we're lucky. At least in every household, even though for example, Dan wants to put the dinosaur or whatever in the middle of the room, at least you have your own bedroom where you have a full control of it. And the 9 aspects of Feng Shui hopefully is working good there. It doesn't have to be perfect in every room. Let everyone, you know, show his creativity in his or her own way.
Absolutely, guys. I don't know if you have any questions, or I don't see any question. I wanted you to leave questions here. I let you digest now what we went, what we covered. It was a little bit a quiet, good juice.
Yes.
On a Saturday morning. Yeah, but I'm gonna start by moving this today, and some, you know, usually Saturday, Sunday, we with as a family, even my kids, we give our house some love. This is what we call it, and this is why I'll tell the kids that they have to give their room some love, because all the week long they just do things on the go. So it's good to give our house some love, couple of hours per week at least, and create this bonding. Because as you said, we can sense where to put things sometimes by just creating the bonding with the place we live in. And we are always available. We're gonna continue more details. So this is the start. So later on in next episode, we're gonna talk more aspect by aspect about how the elements, the colors, the shapes, the everything. So that was kind of a global picture.
So exactly. So now I hope before our next get together, everyone will have drawn a nice Bagua map, and we'll keep adding some information to it regarding colors and parts of the body and family members, and this is how you build on it. Now, one last thing before we close, I know that you're planning to move the art piece. A very important thing to keep in mind is when you do something, have a strong, clear intention. What are you planning or expecting from it? Wow. So have your goal clear in your mind, and that will activate the process. And I wish you all the best, and thank you again for this opportunity and for taking the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aya. Thank you for watching, spending this time with us too. And see you soon next month. Everyone plan to do this nice energy talk. I like to call it this way. And I leave you now with love, peace, and good vibes. Love to all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.